So, boy, do we still have a problem. This is the pond berm, and so yesterday I was scooping this up from down here and putting it back on top, and I found a rock the size of my head, probably bigger. This one right here, right there, that rock, quartz, in the middle of this fucking pond berm, right about here. So that's a huge no-no. You never put rocks in the pond berm. The water will find their way to the rock and around it and will just leak. So I excitedly removed the rock and repacked the berm as best as I could. And whoops, we've still got a problem. I thought that was going to help stop the berm from completely eroding down the hill here. But that only stopped one of the leaks. We obviously still have a leak problem happening right about there. And if we look on the other side of the pond berm here, we can see that there's a rock right there. And I don't know if that is the cause of this leak. I mean, a rock in the pond, see those? Those are fine. They're down further, they're not in the berm, they're sitting on top of the berm, kind of. This one is kind of buried a little more in it, and I'm wondering if water is finding its way around it. Or if there's just some unseen, I don't know what's happening, leak going on somewhere else. I mean, there's a little twig sticking through the berm, that's problematic, and a couple of roots here. You don't want any of that in your pond berm. The water will find its way through. It creates a weak spot. This little pine needle here, if the leak were on the surface, it would be getting pulled right to it. So this is really, really difficult figuring out what the problem is here. I mean, this rock, I don't know how big it is. So I guess today I want to get a shovel and try to pluck it out. And if there's a giant hole behind it, then we know where another problem is coming from. But just like, there's got to be something in here that's creating this leak. Because this is just, there's something in this berm that's wrong. Because the water is coming out right here. And if I dig right here, this whole thing is going to collapse. So that's not what I want to do. If I do any digging, it has to be on the other side. And no, I can't rent a pump and drain the water out to find where the leak is happening. I'm not financially or infrastructurally or equipment-wise set up to do that right now. Finances are super tight, and I'm expecting that to get horrifically worse in the next 2 months. So, for the next 4 years is more accurate. But we can see that the clay is dry right above this section. It's crumbling in here because the instability is right here. That's where the water is coming through. So somewhere on the other side, right here, there's a leak. And I can't find the obvious problem, which means there could easily be another rock sitting in the middle of this berm causing the leak, or a root or something. But yeah, if I dig into where the water's coming out, this whole thing's just gonna go. So we don't want to make this mudslide even worse. We want to stop it. So I don't know whether to keep piling this stuff up here over here and letting it slide down and create more of a bank here, but I'm pretty sure that rock has got to come out. And yeah, any little roots and stuff in here are causing problems. I mean, this has a major fucking leak here, and I don't know why. It's very, very, oh wow, that's bad. That's so bad. Maybe there's another fucking rock in the berm. I can't believe he built this without me. Okay, I have just gotten under the rock that was in here, and I, you know, flipped it and rolled it down further into the pond, but it left a gaping hole. If you guys probably can't see, the water's still too murky. And when I rolled it out, see there's air bubbles coming out right here? That's where the water is going through the berm. So that rock was probably the cause of all this. And now me and my chronic back pain get to lift this soup, which is like lifting concrete. Wet concrete, that's what it feels like weight-wise. Down from here and back up over into here where it slides down and covers this hole. Because as you can see, this is, maybe you can't see, but this is, there's water, air bubbles still coming out of here. What a fucking shit show. Yeah, the water was finding its way right around that rock. And there's still air bubbles coming out. Wow. So I need to hurry up and get that covered up with clay. Look at this. Look at the air coming out. The water is finding its way right through the berm, right where that rock was. I can't believe he built this pond without me. I don't know how many times you've heard me say that on previous videos, but I cannot fucking believe he built this without me. This is the second rock I found in the weakest part of the berm that needs to be the strongest part. This spot right here needs to be the strongest part of the berm. Because this is all downhill and the most pressure is right here, and this is the second fucking rock I have had to pluck out of the berm. Never put rocks in your pond berm. Never. I even tried reasoning with this guy and telling him the truth, which is, you know, if you listen to me and these come out fucked up, then I've already paid you and you've got your money and it's my problem. And I have to deal with it and, you know, whoops, I made a whoopsie and it's on me. If you don't listen to me and keep doing things your way and the ponds are all fucked up, then I've paid you money and I get to deal with your mistakes. So it's on you. And, I mean, I'm going to be the bigger person here and not mention the name of his company. But, if I go to his Facebook page and he's, you know, taking shots at me and slandering me and trying to hurt my reputation before I even start doing this for a living, pond building that is, water restoration, I might end up naming his ass and his company, because, I mean, we were working together for like 2 years. I was having him in here cut trees and clear areas, and, you know, he was doing basically which trees I told him to cut, and he was listening, and, you know, if there was any type of disagreement, you know, we would work it out, and there wasn't much of a butting of heads or anything until this whole project started with the driveway and the ponds, and I am not the best communicator in the world. I'm kind of absolutely shit at it. I'm an introvert, and ever since I was a kid, I've had problems with other kids being mean and bullying me, and that really does carry over into adulthood and how you relate to people and stuff. So I've already apologized for being, you know, shit at communicating and stuff, and I mean, neither one of us, this guy nor me, neither one of us like people. So it's great that I'm trying to go into, you know, a career that's going to involve working with clients and customers, but basically, like, I'm trying to get a certification in this where I, you know enough to be able to confidently charge people money to make ponds for them that are beautiful and create wildlife habitat and places to swim and recreate and just, you know, improve the planet better than I found it. Which, holy shit, are we in trouble, folks. These next 4 years are just going to be a fucking disaster for the planet. He's gonna... Well, that's a whole other video, but I can barely sleep at night thinking what's gonna happen to what's left of our wildlife and national parks and our air and our water when he deregulates everything. I can't believe this, you guys. I just found more rocks in the pond berm. I just want to scream. I think this guy, for some reason, his logic was put rocks in the pond berm to strengthen it, when the exact opposite happens. The water will find any weak point or vein that it can flow into in the pond berm. And when you put rocks in the pond berm, it will find veins and flow around them and keep leaking until the rocks are removed. And I'm wondering if there are multiple rocks in this berm that I can't get to without draining the pond. Holy shit, this is a fucking nightmare. Well, I have to go feed my goats, but we can see there's still water coming out right here. So there's still a problem with this berm. My guess is he left a giant rock in here somewhere that I have to get out, and depending on how far into the berm the rock is hiding, this whole thing could collapse if I dig where the water is coming out. So I don't know what to do here. We do not want the berm to collapse, obviously. And ideally, this would be drained with a pump down to the point where it's leaking, and then I would be able to dig in here and find the rock, but we don't have that option. So what a shit show. I just came in here to grab stuff to feed the goats and wasn't expecting to be out here this long, and nightmare in this pond berm. My guess is there's another rock in here, so fun. It is later than mid-November right now, and all of this should be covered in snow and frozen right now normally, but yay existential climate change. It is about 20 degrees warmer than it would normally be right now. So I am frantically trying to get this fixed before winter arrives, which it should have already. I mean, deer season is usually the second week in November. For some reason, they moved it to the third week this year. And by the second week of November, there has been snow all over the ground every year that I have lived here, up until the last few years. So this whole climate change thing is impossible to not see and to ignore if you work outside at all and pay attention to the weather the way it's been your entire life for almost 5 decades. So big oil can lie all they want and say that it's, you know, a hoax and not happening and whatever, but ExxonMobil's own scientists from the 1970s and their own reports tell you the truth about what's really happening. So we need to stop burning fossil fuels immediately if we want to exist as a species on this planet.